Mariam lived with her mother, Nana, in a small hut. It was outside the village, hidden away. Nana was always cross. She told Mariam it was her fault. Mariam didn't understand, she just knew she made her sad. Other children called Mariam a harami. It meant she was a mistake. Her father wasn't married to her mother. This made Mariam feel small, like a tiny bug someone could squash. Mariam only felt happy when her father Jalil visited. He came once a week, bringing stories and laughter. Jalil made Mariam forget she was different. He called her his little flower and made her feel special. Nana would shake her head and say, "Don't believe his lies," she'd spit. But Mariam wanted to believe. Jalil lived in Herat, the big city. He had a real house there. He also had wives and other children. Sometimes he talked about them, saying how much they would love Mariam. He promised to take her there one day, to live with them. This was Mariam's dream, to be part of a family, to have brothers and sisters, to be loved. Mariam clung to her father's stories. She imagined the big house in Herat, picturing its cool courtyard and the sound of fountains. She dreamed of the silk dresses her sisters would wear. In her mind they played together, laughing. Nana scoffed at these dreams. She'd say, "Jalil is a snake. He sheds his skin and forgets," but Mariam didn't listen. She held on to her hope. It was all she had. One day Jalil arrived in a hurry. He seemed worried. He said he had a surprise for Mariam. He was finally taking her to Herat to meet her family. Mariam was ecstatic. This was all she ever wanted. The journey was long and tiring, but Mariam didn't care. She was going to her father's house to be with her family. She imagined their faces. Would they like her? Would they play with her? When they finally arrived, Mariam was breathless. The house was huge, just like in her dreams. There were beautiful gardens and a big fountain in the middle. It was perfect. Mariam stood before the massive wooden door. Her heart pounded with anticipation. She looked up at her father, her smile wide. Jalil didn't smile back. He looked uncertain. He knocked on the door. It opened a crack and a man peeked out. He frowned at Mariam. Jalil whispered something to him, but Mariam couldn't hear. The man's frown deepened and he shook his head. Mariam didn't understand. Why wouldn't they let her in? Her father turned to her, his eyes filled with sadness. "Go home, Mariam," he said softly. "I'll come for you soon, I promise." Mariam felt a pain in her chest, like a stone had lodged itself there. She wanted to scream, to bang on the door until they let her in, but she didn't. She turned and walked away. The journey back was long and silent. Mariam sat huddled in the wagon. Jalil didn't speak, he just stared ahead. Every so often Mariam would steal a glance at him, but he wouldn't meet her eye. When they reached the little hut, Mariam ran inside. She didn't look back. She didn't want to see her father's face. Mariam found Nana lying on the floor. Her eyes were closed. Her face was pale. At first Mariam thought she was sleeping, but then she saw the empty bottle of pills. Nana had swallowed them all. She had given up. Tears streamed down Mariam's face. She was all alone. The world seemed to spin. How could Nana leave her too? Jalil had broken his promise. He hadn't come back for her. Mariam was trapped. There was no escape from this life, from the pain, from the loneliness. She realized Nana had been right. Dreams were dangerous. They only led to disappointment. Mariam buried her mother by the river. There was no funeral, no prayers. Just Mariam and the cold, hard ground. As she placed a stone on the grave, Mariam made a promise she would never dream again, she would never trust anyone again. She would face the world alone.